Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome once again to yet another episode of Unzipping. If it's your first time here, Unzipping is a series of videos that I do. That's like unboxing, but for PDFs. So what I do is I stumble across any games I like, and I decide to give it a first look live and offer some commentary regarding game design choices and graphic design choices. Today, we're taking a look at ENI RPG by Exist Games. In this particular case, Charlie reached out to me and asked if I wanted to take a look at a game. And I said, yeah, of course. So that's what we're doing today. I actually haven't seen the PDF as it's usual. So it's important to inform that this is not a review because I'm looking at the game for the first time. So I'm making assumptions as I go, and then the game itself will answer those assumptions. All right. Before we start, I'd like to remind you that I have a new game out. Today is we have a month left for our sale. This game is not a demon. It's a game that you play as a guardian spirit that is mistaken as a demon because you look very frightening. So you're trying to help people, but people are hunting you down. They fear you, they hate you because they think you're a demon. So yeah, you deal with perseverance, seeing beyond appearance and stuff like that. It's on sale right now because I need to cover some expenses that I had with my dog. My dog got sick, so I spent a lot of money on the vet. And so for a month, you can get the game, which is a 82-page pocketbook, fully colored, richly illustrated, fully bookmarked and then hyperlinked. And it comes with a net cost print on demand coupon if you want to buy the physical version of the game on Lulu. Okay, so check it out. It's on sale for $8.90. But if you are a Patreon, reminding you that I have a Patreon, you can get this game for free for $5, and every other game that I release in the future for free as well. And you also support me keep doing the things that I do. So I'd recommend you, if you can and if you want to, you can follow the development of new games. I offer some game design insights and discussions. I offer work in progress, behind the scenes conversations about how to create a game, the decisions I make, all that for $5 a month, and you get all my games for free, all my future games for free. Okay, that's enough promo for today. Let me remove this little banner that's running below me. There you go. And now we are moving to the game itself. Why am I blinking? Let me fix that real quick. Hang on. Better? Nope, still blinking. Is this this light maybe? No, it's not this light. Okay, that's funny. Hang on, let me see if I can fix it. I think we're good. Okay, sorry about that. Right, no problem at all. So, as it's usual, we start by the page. Any is available on itch, and it's pay what you want. Okay, right. So let's start by looking at what the author says. So it's designed in Japan, okay, by Charles Ward. So Charlie, full name is Charles Ward, and his company is Exist Game. Okay. It's a rule set for role-playing games that aims to quickly and easily provide the adventurers seek through collaborative storytelling, growing tension, and meaningful choices. It can be played with or without a game narrator. So, if I'm understanding it correctly, it's like a universal system. It doesn't come with a pre-established setting. You use it with any setting you want, and it's focused on collaborative storytelling, and it can be played GMless, which I love. Okay, it was funded as a part of ZinQuest. Okay, so it has been a Kickstarter, right? Thanks to any backers, we funded the planting of 100 trees. Okay, that's fun. It's an open source framework, so you can hack it. It's available for free. You can create, modify, and monetize. Okay, there is the source code. Your creativity will be rewarded with a game jam sometime soon. Okay. If you want to exercise your imagination or have some storylines you want to try out, you have the zine, character sheet, and journal templates. Okay, so there are videos with a framework. We're not going to watch them. There is an interview about it. And there is an invitation to collaborate for translation, reviewers, and actual play opportunities, and help running the game jam. Okay, so now the download gives you the screen format, the one-page format, sheet, journal, and there's this version for print if you pay $5. So I believe Charlie has sent me this one, but I want to check what the difference is between the screen version and the for print version. Let's download it and figure it out. Okay, opening. So this one is a 20-page document. It's meant to be read on screen. And if I'm not mistaken, he has sent me the print version, and I'll check it right now. Let's see if it's different. Yeah, he has. Let's see if that's different somehow. No, it's a 20-page as well. I believe it's only a matter of the image quality. The resolution, maybe. Okay, so it's 20 pages. I'll stick with the print version for now. Okay, so here's the game. Let me adjust how it looks on screen. And let me see if it benefits from a split view. I don't think it does. So 20 pages, pretty short, pretty straightforward. I love this. And as usual, I'm going through all the pages first just to have an overview of the game. And then I go back and we dive in. How does that sound? Okay. Let me just check that you're seeing the same thing that I am. Yes, you are. Excellent. And let me activate the comments here, just in case anyone has any questions. All right, so here we go. ENI. Okay, there is a quote, an introduction, and then straight to the core rules. Okay. Another image, how to set up a game and a story. Another quote. Others, villains, friends, okay, other people, how to calculate initiative. Another image, how to come up with challenges. This is probably conditions and how to recover from those conditions. Aiding, rewards, and probably how to upgrade. And there is a sort of great success, like a crit. Curious. Another image. An example, okay, with a combat example. Always welcome. The spirit, okay, so this is like the vision for the game, I'm assuming. Illustration, ideas. Okay, so random tables to help you create your stuff. Excellent. I love those. D20, so I saw that there are illustrations of the whole standard set of dice. So I'm assuming you use all of them. And that's the back cover. Okay, that's it. So it's very streamlined, which I love. If we remove the illustrations, I wouldn't, of course, because I love how those black pages with a quote gives you this breathing between the walls of text that the rules demand. So yeah, I think it gives you a nice rhythm, a nice flow. It's like one page, more or less, one illustration, and they are very diverse. I think those are edit photos, and they give you this. All of them are aerial views of stuff. And for an SRD, which this kind of is, it's interesting because like you are you're giving a view from the top, like how does everything work. So the choice of having top down views of things that explain the whole, I think it's appropriate, right? Yeah, yeah, like a city, a stadium, and a boat on the sea, and an airplane, and so on. So yeah, host like top down views, like the way you're seeing the whole of the system at once. Now, okay, let's go back to the start. Hmm. So any, I believe, is not an anagram. I believe is a play with the word any, as in any game, any setting, any RPG, ANY, right? And it has this cover that it's a lot of triangles, very abstract. And when you're creating a game that has no setting attached, it's kind of challenging to come up with a cover that does not lean the game towards a specific setting or feel. We kind of tend to go to abstract or more non-explicit choices for the art, or do something like Fate and a Cipher System that offers like a collage of different settings, all of them together on the cover. So here, Charles has chosen to go the abstract route and choosing like those things interconnecting as a cover, like maybe showing how the different parts of the game come together, right? It's a smart choice. Okay, I was secretly looked forward to nothing going as planned. That way, I wasn't limited by my imagination. That way, anything can, and I always did happen. So yeah, I'm expecting by this quote that the way the dice rules work, they offer complications and they steer the narrative in unexpected directions. Okay, so and most role-playing games, you and some friends create protagonists through a story. Okay, it is a simple framework for role-play games of any kind, hence the name. Okay, a few dice rules and you can play the role you seek, with or without a narrator. Okay, use your favorite worlds, and so on. This zine is also a coloring book. Oh, okay, and funded the planting of 100 trees. So this is supposed to be colored. All right. Okay. Fun. And then there is the logo of EX1ST Games. Okay. It's all by Charles Ward, and it's CC BY, which means you can create derivative works. I think that's the whole point of releasing a framework like this one. Okay, there is no table of contents, so you go straight to the rules. And so I'm assuming all illustration, all design, layout, and everything is all by Charles Ward. Okay, straight to the rules. Let's see this. I'm enjoying some Madeira wine here. I am in Madeira Island, so I, you know, keep it to the tradition. Okay, in a game powered by ENI, you play a PC, get about 6 dice. Oh yeah, so the 46, the 8, the 10, that's the whole standard set. It represents the health and potential to resolve challenges. Okay. A challenge, it's a likely but difficult test. Persuading or fighting. Okay. So to see if you succeed, you choose any of your dice and roll it. To succeed, you need a 4 or higher. The die rolled then becomes spent. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. As like Poderes para o Bem. I don't remember the name in English. Powers for the Good, maybe? It's a superhero game that you have like a dice pool of all the kinds of dice and then you use and spend them. Higher results give better outcomes. Okay, lower results give worse consequences. Page 12, we have for a great success. Is it linked? No, it's not. So on page 12, we have, okay, that table that can help you with figuring out what a great success is. We'll get there when we get there. Okay. If your PC gets affected, injured, ill, drunk, cursed, etc., you must spend one of their available dice. If they have none to spend, it's knocked out and needs help. Okay, so you don't split your dice between health and potential. They together represent both things because you use them to overcome challenges, but you also use them to solve to not be affected when you get hit, right? It's both active and reactive. It's a resource for doing things and it's a resource for resisting things. Okay, very clever. I would believe if there is no other instruction that you would spend the lower dice for resisting and use the higher for resolving challenges. That makes sense to me. Okay, right. You recover most of your dice after a full rest or their lowest die after a quick rest. Okay, all right. You can gain additional dice during the game, like after training, installing upgrades, or completing quests. Okay, so the rewards are done in the form of more dice. Cool. And that's it. That's the whole game. That's freaking perfect. Okay, one page, it's all explained. 4 or higher can be obtained in all dice, but you have like 25% chance on a d4, and then you have 50% chance on a d6, and so on. So it increases your chances to get something good. 4 or higher is also the same threshold of success that we see on Savage Worlds, right? Interesting. Okay. Now, setup. You need imagination, courage, courtesy, a few coins. A few coins? What are the coins for? And lots of dice. Okay, you invent a PC to play, name, describe, adjective or noun, like big dog or mad druid. You can add features to your PC. See pages 18 and 19 for inspiration. Let's see it. Okay, names, items, looks, rough, tentacles, cold, dark eyes. Okay, cool. All right. And what else? Optionally, come up with a special item. You have inspiration on the tables as well. So you have the dice. If you have good endurance, you might want more dice if they're high skilled. swap a d4 for a d6, talk about it, and choose whatever feels right. Okay, so the table discuss together what kind of set of dice everyone starts with. Okay, grab a character sheet and a pencil. That helps. You need to track how many available dice you have remaining. A bag for spent dice work. So, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You have a dice bag. Now, story. You're the players are responsible for the story. Ask about the world and add to the world. Be open to new ideas. Improvise. Okay, so this is our guidelines, more like behavioral guidelines for when you're working together to come up with a setting. When you ask a good question or other really important element, you gain a nanny. Okay, this is new. Use coins to track these. Anys may be spent to change die results. Okay, see page 12. I'm gonna see it right now because I'm very curious. Okay. Is there any mention of anys here? Let's see. Okay, teamwork. Other PCs may join our challenge by rolling any of their available dice at the same time. Only one success is needed. 2 for an epic challenge. Players can also help each other by spending a silver any. This lets you add +1 to any challenge die result after it is rolled. Spending a gold any lets you re-roll any challenge die. Okay, so we have two kinds of anys. So far, I just read about anys in general. Okay. Maybe we'll come up with a differentiation between the two of them. Okay. But let's continue for now. You need a time, place, objective, like opening a locked box, like that's a request, your mission. Some mystery, like what's in the box, and some pressure, like a group trying to steal it. Okay, so this is a very clever way to synthesize what makes a story, like, right? You want something, there is a mystery about it, and there's something stopping you from getting it, or something pressuring you against or towards it, right? That's the recipe for drama. Award an any to the best suggestion for each and go with that. Okay, so world building grants you rewards that you can use during gameplay. Okay. Right. Now, the other people, not the characters. Villains, friends, and strangers in the games are other characters, OCs. Okay, this is a fun way to not call them NPCs. OCs are that's I like it. It's a different and interesting way to call them. They're represented by a die chosen by everyone, or by rolling a d6 and checking the table below. Oh, okay. So a d20 is like a golem or a dragon, and a d4 is like a cat, and like a normal person. Let's see, like a soldier or a fighter is a d8. Okay, so narrators may choose the die in order to keep the OC's potential secret. Okay, the higher, the more potential it has. Okay, makes sense. They roll their current die during challenge, but without spending it. When they're affected, I think you drop down. Let's see. Replace the die with a lesser die. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's clever. All right. So instead of giving them a pool of dice for NPCs or OCs in this case, you give them a single die that represents their capacity. If they get hit, the die drops to the immediately lower, lesser die. So yeah, that's both their potential and their hit points. And as they get affected, they are less effective. Clever. I like it. Like the usage die that we see in the Black Hack or Macchiato Monsters or stuff like that. I dig it. Very simple way to represent NPCs. Initiative. Players participate at their own pace. Turn order is decided freely. Okay. Might help to say, can I go next? A player who describes what they do is simply taking their turn. If you don't jump in, others may skip you. Okay. Challenge. Which occurs? A turn can be an action, a reaction, or like a dodge. In order to keep the story realistic and relevant, any player may direct any OC to take a turn at any time. Good narration helps here. Okay, so, well, uh, I think it's interesting that Charlie represents like you. It might help to say, "Can I go next?" and like gives you a hint to be proactive and like dig your space. But if you don't jump in, others may skip you. Yeah, that's depending on the group, right? It's important to have a conversation, I think, beforehand. Like, oh, this game doesn't have an initiative order. I like it. Most of my games don't. I think, and that's okay. But what might happen is the shyest or the person that has less social skills or is the new guy on the table might get run over by the more extrovert, the kind of alpha players that just go and run over. So yeah, can I go next? Okay, but there are people that don't have this kind of skill set. So it's good to have, if you're playing this game, it's good to have a conversation and put this up front. When you want to say something, you say, "Can I go next?" I would recommend like a suggestion to for players to share the spotlight. As soon as you finish your action, you point towards someone, the one that's hasn't declared anything yet or hasn't been talking much or contributing much, and say, "Hey, do you have anything to offer?" Otherwise, people that talk less tend to get run over. But that's how I tend to you know handle those kinds of situations, because I've been in this situation, like being the quiet person, like in a new group, and everyone is like super in sync, very extroverted people. And I was like waiting for my chance to talk, and I didn't want to be rude and just like, "Hey, hey, 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 please, can I talk?" So if you embed mechanics or instructions for sharing the spotlight, you kind of you don't make sure, but you incentivize this kind of sharing the spotlight thing, which I think it's very important. Now, I like that OCs don't have a turn. Instead, players realistically decide when they should act. This is trusting the players as a group to say, "Hey, we're in combat here. It wouldn't make sense that we're just pounding the guy and they never respond back." So I think it's time for them to attack or do something like that. So yeah, I like it. Okay, now challenges. Challenges like when you're trying to do something, right? Like you actually roll the die. You state what you intend to do, roll any of your available dice to see if you succeed. Other PCs can help you. You must roll four or higher. If you're successful, you do what you want. Either way, the dice roll becomes spent and are unavailable. Lower results have worse consequences. For an epic challenge like drunk landing a glider on a skyscraper at night, okay, you might want to roll two dice. Both dice must succeed. Okay, so most of the time you're rolling one die, and but you can roll more depending on the difficulty of the challenge. Now, your dice also represent your health. If you become affected, how do you become affected? That's my question. How do you decide that? Is it by table consensus, like this thing you did that you failed could affect you, could hurt you somehow? Or anytime you fail? I don't think it's anytime you fail. But anyway, if you become affected, you have to spend any of your dice. If you don't have, you're knocked out. You can die and create another PC. If all the PCs die or leave, the story ends. Okay. Resting. You recover all of your dice after a full rest or a quick rest, the lowest spent die. Okay. You decide represents a full rest and a quick rest. Okay. I think this is fair. Since that's like setting agnostic system, depending on the kind of story you're telling, a full rest may be like a night's sleep, or it can be a week in cryogenic hibernation. So it's fair. If your PC was still somehow affected when they took a full rest, what does that mean? If your PC was affected when they took a full rest, you were affected. Oh, okay, so you have to spend a die, but it doesn't mean you are not affected anymore, like cursed or anything. When you take a full rest, you spend the D20 after the rest to represent recovery over time. Oh, let me see if I understood that. When you spend a die because you became affected, that doesn't mean you remove that condition. Spending the die just represents you taking that condition, right? Is that what that means? Right. So then you rest, you recover all your dice, but you spend the d20 to represent a recovery. So that means that you recover all dice that you used for challenges, and that's okay. But if you were affected, you have to spend a die, the highest die, to represent your recovery. Okay, now that makes sense. All right. So yeah, maybe you get to rest, but you haven't been affected at all. You're just tired. That means that you spent all your dice not with affection, being affected, but with challenges. All right. What happens when you have to roll a challenge and you have no die? You can't roll, right? So if you have a pool of seven, it's seven, or what's the standard? Six dice, right? It's quite quick. So this cycle of recovering and spending, it's it's quite a quick one, I would say. Yeah, if you're playing a smaller group, you would have more chances to interact and make your actions. You would go through the whole of your dice pool quite fast, and then you need those recovers time. And this is not a scene, like it's not a downtime scene. You just rest, if I'm not mistaken. I think if you implement this in your game, this could be a good opportunity to offer downtime activities. Like, what do you do that you're not acting in order to recover your day? Not just resting. Like, do you talk to people? Do you journal? Do you go to a religious ceremony? Do you meditate? Right? Do you practice? What do you do? Now, teamwork, we rolled. There is no indication so far of a silver ENI and a gold ENI. What's the difference between them? But I'm assuming they're related to your contributions during world building being somewhat cool or epic. That's what I'm assuming. But this is also a good, maybe a good in-game currency, like people offering each other any for good solutions or good ideas and things like that, right? Now rewards. You gain items, abilities, and companions. Items can be anything. Abilities let PCs try cool actions, and PCs must have a full rest before they can use each of them again. So, like a special talent. And companions are OCs, like a pet, a mount, or a drone. Okay. How do you interpret them? Up to you. I think they may add dice to your pool. Abilities can let you do cool things, and companions might take a hit for you or do stuff for you. Okay. Now, great success. This is the thing that is the scale of failure and success. Okay, so if you do a challenge and you roll the dice highest result possible before modifying it, it succeeds and your PC gains a bonus. Roll the spent challenge die again to see what you get. Oh, okay, interesting. That's very cool because it's easier to get a great success when you roll a lower die, like a d4, you have 25% chance of getting a great success. But when you roll for your reward for the great success in this table, you're stuck to the two first results, these two that go from 1 to 4. You can have a flashback or a premonition, which is cool. But if you roll a 20, you gain a d20 to be spent. Oh, it's spent. It goes to your spent pile. Okay. Now, okay, there you go. An 11, you gain 1 gold any. There is the mention to a gold any. There's no silver any, but there is gold any here. Now you can also upgrade any die, recover spent dice, and some like tags or traits that your character becomes, like charming, wise, nimble. I don't know how that translates to game mechanics, if it does at all. Let's see, 5 to 10. There you go. If relevant, roll an additional d4 with a challenge die. These last until your PC rests. Okay, here's the explanation. So this is unzipping, okay? I'm reading, I'm making assumptions, and I discover what it is. So, like, become wise, and you are making a challenge in which being wise is relevant, like maybe deciphering a puzzle, or understanding understanding the ways and behavior of a different culture. You added it for, you roll both of them, and I guess you can pick the highest. And this trait lasts until you rest. Okay, that's cool. I like this table. Yeah, I would certainly use it if I would be creating a game with it. Now let's see an example. There is a combat example devoid of narrative. Okay, so just the rolls. Bob has 4 dice and loses to a D10 robot. This is intentionally boring to show the core mechanic. Okay, so there is no narration. Bob shoots. You pick one of the dice. It's a success. The robot's now a D8. Bob has 3 dice. The robot shoots. You roll their D8. It hits. You spend one of your dice. You have 2 now. You roll 1. It's a success. The robot is a D6. You have 1 die. The robot D6 misses. You use your last die to shoot and hits. The robot's now a D4. 0 dice left. The robot's D4 misses, you have no dice and you run. Okay, so you have to escape the situation. You know, have no dice left. Robert misses, Bob loses but escapes alive. Okay, yeah, I see that working. Depending on the player, a more interesting duel might include persuasion and deception, good use of terrain, stealth, and so on. All the cinematic magic you can throw at it. All right. Now, what's the spirit? N is for anyone. This is important. Fundamental particles in your brain tell you when you are being a sausage. Okay. If you feel them particles, follow these points. Before you add to the rules, add to the story. There are no winners, only great storytellers. Don't be a sausage. Be fun, relax, and enjoy. This is the spirit of any. Okay. Yeah, any is for anything goes, but to a point. They're limited by the things they can do. If it doesn't ruin the story, you can do it. Look out for players that tinker with the rules, like recovering dice. Contributions should be story worthy, not game changing. Okay. Don't plan in advance. Make use of the knowledge that has been established. What's behind the door? Award an any to the best answer. Okay. So yeah, you can get any not only by story world building or by rolling on the great success, but also as a reward during play. Count down from 5 to 0 before a big plot twist. Okay. Surprise others when they're strong and suffer them when they're weak. Okay. So these are more guidelines for a healthy gameplay, right? Then we have the D20 Random Tables. You can like combine the results, like you have an old feather or a fresh key or a long hourglass or a rare toy. Love those. Cross out the ones you use to skip them next time. Okay. Doors, character types, a jealous creature. Those are very evocative, and I really like this two-column solution because the amount of combinations you get from those is unbelievable. You just have 40 words, but you have to multiply them. You have all those possible combinations, so it takes a longer time for you to spend all the ideas you can have with those. Right. Now here are the credits and some thank yous. And that's it. I believe we covered everything. Well, this is Any. If you want to buy it, it is available on itch at this link that is here. The link is also in the description of this video, and you can get it at any time you want. Thank you for coming. And I like to remind you that I have a Patreon that you can support my work and get all my games for free, or my future games for free, including my latest release, which is Not a Demon, a game you play as guardian spirits mistaken as demons. So this was Any RPG. Thank you so much, and I see you next time. Bye bye.